I invested in a company, a financial institution, and that financial institution went bad. Central Bank took over and sacked all the directors. The share of that company fell, start selling below book value. So shares that worth 1 naira, people are not even ready to buy it for 50 kobo. I prayed a simple prayer and left it. 1 year passed, 2 years passed. One day I was in my office. The angel of God went to work. Somebody called me. I said, God, none of them is going to go anywhere. They will be in this company until it happens. And say he learned I have this share that I'm selling. And we were having a board meeting. The Spirit of God, when it comes upon me, I speak. But I speak like a mad person. Because every true prophet doesn't speak through his listening. The things he says are contrary to listening. Prophets don't speak the thought of man, they speak the thought of God. I say the minimum I will sell this year is 5 naira. My group managing director laughed at me. Laugh. One of the other directors started laughing. He said, how much is it? I said 5 naira. The person said, but somebody told me you are selling it at 3 naira and that he refused to buy. I said, well, go to that person. If he tell you, you should buy it from that person. I said, the last price is 5 naira. If you need it, you pay. If you don't need it, leave it. The person said, okay. He will call me back. When he dropped the phone, 2 hours later, another managing director of a bank called and said, I learned you have this share and that you want to sell it. How much for it? I say 6 naira. He said, can you sell it to me 5 naira? I said, we are not selling potato. The price is 6 naira. If you want to buy, you pay. It's okay. He will call me back. By 2 o'clock, the man that called me about 9, the first person called me and said he want to make an appointment to come to my house with the managing director of their, with his chairman of his bank, their company secretary, and 2 other persons. I said, for what? He said, for the share. I said, the price has changed. I'm not telling you the second day, the third day. He said, what do I mean? I said, the price now is 7 naira. He said, what nonsense are you talking? You told me 5 naira, I didn't even agree. Now you are saying 7 naira. I said, oh, sir, that's why you missed your luck when you didn't agree. So I'm telling you the price now. It's okay, that's not a problem. Let's have a meeting. When we meet, we'll talk. I said, no problem, 6 o'clock, I'll wait for you. I called my group managing director. I said, come to my house. There's something I want you to witness this evening. So the fact, before I get home by 6 o'clock, 4 of them are in my house waiting. And we started talking to conclude the share. So they said, hey, what are you talking? I said, I told you. I told you the price is 7 naira. The price has changed. He said, no. You know, you cannot be talking like a child. You know, this, I told my bosses what you said, and we are coming to see if you can reduce. I said, please, if you are serious, we close this deal. If you are not. As we are talking, he was still making arguments. My phone rang again. And it was that other managing director of the other bank. Now I put it in open so that he can hear the discussion. The guy said he's on his way with his MD and he's coming to conclude this transaction. I said, which transaction? He said, the one I called you from in the morning. I said, anyway, I haven't said this to you before, but I want to be honest to you now to tell you there are some people in my house now that I'm discussing that transaction with, and I've made up my mind to sell it to them. He paused for 1 minute. He said, Cosmas, I want to ask you a question. I said, please go ahead. He said, be honest to me. Are you so rich that 1 billion naira did not mean anything to you? I said, so what does that mean? He said, I will pay you 8 naira. I put the phone off. Now listen, I'm not saying the second day, I'm not saying the third day, I'm not saying the fourth day, I'm saying the same very day. This thing started happening by 8 o'clock. The angel of God went to work, knocking the head of 2 people. I am a Christian on my honor. I didn't call any of them. The man said, what kind of answer? Oh, you know, he said, okay, let's go and have meeting. Then we went out. My managing director said, oh God, don't do this thing now. You know, you are acting like a smart. If these people are saying, the other people are jokers. If these people are saying, I said, shh. I am the driver of this car. You are conductor. So just stay in the car and be a witness. Your opinion is not called for this. Stay here and see what happened. They came back and said, okay, you know, these things, you know, they didn't like it, but they have agreed. They decided to pay me the 7 naira. If I say 7 naira, but they want to conclude this. I said, why are you paying me 7 naira? I said, you're a managing director of a bank. I am a managing director of Coscharis. I said, if your board know you can make 1 billion naira, you walk away with it. Wouldn't they fire you? The board of Coscharis will fire me if I walk away from this 1 billion. They went out another meeting and come back and say, okay, they will meet me halfway. They will pay 7 naira 50 kobo. I said, okay, I will meet you halfway also. Because you call me in the morning, I didn't call you, and you make effort to be here. Allow me to sell this share to the other people. When I sold it, I collect money. I'll give you 250 million naira free for the call you made from morning till now. They went back again. It's a power of negotiation. I know what I'm talking about. When the Holy Spirit take over, you are in charge, not the people that is in charge. That's why I'm telling you that wealth transfer is not something somebody told me. I cut this story short. That day, we start signing agreement, doing it. They said they want everything. I signed that night because the way I'm behaving out. I said, no problem. Write everything. At the time, they said, okay, we have come to a middle of the road. We will transfer. We will give you 30% of our share. I said, I don't need your share. Cash. If you need this, you got to pay cash. If I need your share, I come to buy. We sign agreement. They agreed to buy that share for 8 naira. The following day, I left, went to my hometown in Newi. I was fasting. I'm not saying it's the fasting that made it. Actually, I was on my 40th day of fasting. I knew what consecration is. When I'm talking to you, I'm not talking to you from intellectual conception. I talk to you with practical experience. I didn't fast because of this, but the angel of God went to work. I am one individual that believes that it is important to be successful, but being successful in itself alone is not enough. Being successful on your own is one level, but your success get to another level when you're able to impact somebody in a progressive way. Learning is a mindset issue. It's attitude you have. Whether you are teachable, you are ready to learn, you are willing to open your mind. You limit yourself when you block your mind. When you are talking, you say, I've had that before. So anywhere I am is a school. So I've been in a school today and I'm living here. I made some notes. Some of you, I don't know whether you made a note. Because an event like this is not about the person that spoke. It's not about the eloquence of the presenter or the speaker, but about what the takeaway. What did you take away from all the things you have? Let me say one thing to you. If you don't remember anything, don't forget it. Your money once part from you, you are no more in control. The Donald Trump you will be, the Buhari you will be, or the Tinubu you will be, is when that cash is in your hand. If anybody sweet talk you and you don't secure yourself and you let that money left, that person that has the money is in control. He's on the driver's seat, and whatever he tells you is what you hear. Ignorance is not a demon. If it's a demon, we can cast it out. What you don't know, you don't know. And you need knowledge to succeed in life. So when you go to a place, be willing to learn. It's not enough to live a life of survival. You can survive with your instinct, but you need knowledge to create wealth. So when you find opportunity for people like that telling you what to do, make notes. Don't think I knew them, I knew it, I've had it before. Make notes so that you can have a takeaway. Your time you spend will be very valuable for you.
You are welcome to this channel. This is Money Mindset Mastery. On this channel, we teach you how to make money, how to manage your money, how to sustain your money, and how to grow generational wealth. If you are interested in joining a community of like-minded people who are passionate about making money, kindly click the link in the description below. There we share information about this channel and updates on this platform. If you are interested in ordering any book, kindly click the link in my description below and send me a message directly to my WhatsApp, and the book will be delivered to you. Enjoy the rest of this video.
Let me tell you that real estate is the world #1 business for those of you who do not know. Because people keep on wondering, why should I get involved in real estate? If you're a Christian and you study your Bible, the only thing God gave to his children is real estate. That's why we call it the estate that is real. Every other thing is fake. God never gave his children a shoe. He didn't give them a bird. He didn't give them suit. He didn't give them pie. He didn't give them automobile. The only thing he gave his son and daughter was land, property. Because that's the only thing they cannot make for themselves. The other thing they could make for themselves, God did not give them. God gave them the land and spoke to the land. Let grass come up and tree grew. And then when the tree grew, in the tree, God made the tree, one of them to grow cottons. But he had put 5 billion cells in his children's mind. What God has is what he put in a man. Science told us that average of us never use more than 15% of what we have, what God deposited in us. And in Genesis 1:26, God spoke to his son and said, be. Those of you who went to school tell us that be is an active verb. I put something in you, bring it out. I don't need to give you a plot, but you can't create the land. I've created the land for you. You can't create a tree. I've created a tree for you that bears good. Look at the cotton. Use the knowledge I put in you to see a plot from the cotton. Don't just look at the cotton. God never gave them a bed. Look at the tree. See the wood you can get out of it and make a bed. Because when God said be, it's that I put something in you, bring it out. There's a creative ability. Because when God wanted to make things in the world, he spoke to different things to make them. He spoke to the air and said, let the bird come, and the bird flew. He spoke to the water and said, let fish grow up and grow. But when he wanted to make a man, he spoke to himself. He said, let us. So if a monkey give a bat, he will have a monkey. Pussycat give a bat, he will have a pussycat. So God wanted to make somebody in his image, someone who is creative, who doesn't just look, but see beyond the things he sees. Because God is one who calleth what are not as though they were. And by his force of creation, he started creating things and making things to be. You don't see with your eyes, you see with your mind. The real man that is blind is a man or woman that is blind in their mind. There are many eyes that look, but there are very few eyes that see. And it takes seeing to be able to be creative. Why are we here? I was asked to speak on the future of real estate and wealth creation. But I'm not in the business of real estate. But I can tell you that there's no business you are involved in it that does not involve real estate. If you say you're a banker, you don't do your bank in the street. You are in a property to do the banking. And if you stay in a property to do the banking and you own 2 or 3 or 5 of them, you're already in a real estate business. Is that correct? Yes. So if you say, banking is that's not it. All the fast food industry, whether it's McDonald's, whether it's Kentucky, whether it is a big Mac, all of them, their really business is not that food that they are selling, it's real estate. There are very few businesses you are involved in that you can discount real estate. Technologies are coming, AI is coming, many industries and businesses are obstructed, but there's nothing that's going to obstruct food industry. If you don't eat food, if you're a madman, your madness can easily be contempt. So, those who have gone into agriculture and understand it very well are people who knows the future of the economy. And to be in agriculture, they have to be in real estate. So every business is about real estate. So get the point right. So you are in a good industry. The industry you own it. Many of you may not know. When you hear that somebody like Bill Gates or some names, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, and the financial guru also, all the properties in that, they are #1 property owners in the United States of America. These are people who understand that the world is growing. I will encourage you, don't feel you are in a business that is not important, but I'm beginning to think I'm in a wrong business, frankly speaking, not being in a real estate. Because it's not gainsaying. If you like, I can tell you truly. I have a property I bought in Abuja several years ago, frankly speaking, under 1 million naira. When I bought it, I sold it last year. I sold it last year for 10 billion naira, and I got cash. 10 billion, not 10 million. I said 10 billion naira, and I paid cash. So, if I start telling you about real estate, the place you call a bush today is the city of tomorrow. If I don't leave anything for my children, if you go to Japan, the really wealthy people are people who their fathers own agricultural field. All those agricultural fields, if you go to a place like Saitama or before, it's a corn field, but Godia now is the major place where the city is. So, if in another 50 years, this place I'm doing farm now, my children decide to take 5 acres, they are sell, they will be swimming in money. Because as land finishes in the main town, is pursuing those places you think it was bush, and they will be coming near there. When we went to Awoyaya, it's like the end of the world. When I find out we are in a major city of the town. If you see the development that has gone other area. Let me try to run. The true currency of wealth is what I call integrity. For those of you who do not know, wealth is not cash. It's not money you keep in the bank. It's how much people can take your word. So if you are really looking to be a wealthy man, you just need to find out how people can take you for who you are. So who is Cosmas Maduka? Simply a regent with standard 3 English grammar. So it won't be long, you'll start finding out that my tenses are not adding up. But if that is what is important to you, you better wait a little bit. Because you may never like my grammar, but you can never quarrel with my result. Henry Ford said that an educated man or a woman is an individual that can organize his thought into productivity. Until then, you are an intellectual person, you are not educated. Because you can speak an impeccable grammar, but you have nothing to show for it. I had the privilege to speak on the university, Trinity University graduating student, and I told them that success is not a degree. It was like a paradox because I'm talking to the graduating student, and you had some other person say that to you this morning, that many times first in class are not first in life. So it's about organizing your thought into productivity. The first thing you need to have is confidence is everything. My mother looked at me when I was 4 years after the death of my father, and looked me straight into my eyes and told me to believe in myself, and I should believe in God, and that no door will close before me. So I grew up with optimism. When you tell me that the door is closing, I tell you wait till let me get there. 99.9% when I get to that door, somebody will open it here. If I go, it closes back. Confidence is everything. You will never achieve anything without confidence. So you must believe in yourself as you believe in God. My mother discovered my entrepreneurial capability because it's not the product you are selling, it's about the person who is selling the product. There is a market where people never watch you, and they send the first salesperson there. He just came back and said, these people have decided to sack me because this country they don't wear shoe. They just want to make a mess of me. That's why they send me to the market, because he had the wrong mindset. They sent the man with the right mindset there. He asked the boss to say, please empty the whole warehouse, send the shoes. The people in this country never wear shoe. We have a monopoly of market, because I'm going to teach every one of them how to get shoe and benefit of the GM. And that guy started recording sales that their parent company never recorded. So it's your mind. Faith is number 1 thing. The second thing is self-belief. Nobody will believe you until you believe yourself. You are the first believer of yourself. You must be willing to be misunderstood when you talk about yourself. I can talk authoritatively. Mary is here, ask her. When I didn't have 1,000 naira, I started telling people at one day that I would be a millionaire. Actually, my nickname was Cosmas Jesus the millionaire. That's what I am called. And people mocked me when life was a little challenging. People put hand on their mouth. Cosmas Jesus the millionaire. But I tell them, I just pray and say, God bless them. I don't want any of them dead. I want them to be alive. Because they will see what happened. Let them remain alive. And many of them will alive to see it. The third thing is vision. Vision is an art where you see where your eyes cannot see. Where your eyes stop seeing. The eyes you have from where your eyes stop is what we call vision. You see the end, a beautiful picture you paint in your mind. You may not know all the routes that will get you there, but you visualize where you are going. You see the end from the beginning. And because you truly believe it, you begin to speak it. And then you will be misunderstood, which is part of the plan. But it's not enough to have faith. It's not enough to have vision. You have to have a plan. You have to have a plan. You have to be intentional. The last but the second but the last speaker told us here, you can fall out of ladder by accident, but you cannot climb it by accident. You have to be intentional. There's nothing you set your mind to achieve today if you mean it that you cannot attain. If you can get your mind organized. So that's where focus comes. And then you find value and integrity. All of this will result to money. Please don't pursue money. If you chase money, money will run away from you. If you chase value, money will follow you. Find how to create value for people. Don't look for money. The result of value creation will be money. Faith is what my mother taught me and introduced me to God, and I grew up with optimism. The first time I went to American Embassy to look for visa at a tender age, under 20 or 21, the guy in the cage looked at me and said, I'm afraid I won't give you visa. I looked at him, eyeball to eyeball. I said, what is scaring you? You give me a visa, I go to America and return back to Nigeria. I left the American Embassy, first visa with a Virgin passport with 5 years visa. And I went to America. People tried to talk me to stay back into America. And I told them, why you want me to stay back here? I'm going back to Nigeria. I finished what I went and I returned back to Nigeria. Because I'm a true Nigerian, and to be a true Nigerian, I have to be identified with her shame and her glory. Whatever she is what you have. I'm not one of those of you who say this country is completely useless. Such statements never come out of my mouth. Because anything you cause will never bless you. I believe it could be better, but I never said it's useless. No useless thing that will profit you. But this is a virgin land. This is where wealth can be created. I've done business in other parts of the country, including America, where you only do maintenance because everything is already established. But here, there is still a forest that you need to clear. So there can be a better opportunity than here. And you see, Indians come here with rubber plants, rivers. You won't be wrong, they have toothpaste factory. They start having tech before you know it, they take over. Nigerians are running away. The Chinese are coming. This is a gold mine. Don't cost this country, but look inward. With God, nothing will be impossible. Luke 1:37. I knew that by experience, that there's no mountain that is insurmountable and no hill that is unattainable. But at first, it's like a castle in the air. It looks like it cannot be done. But experience has shown that with dogged determination, unwavering commitment, with God's providence, there's no goal one set for his mind that cannot be achieved. Whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, you are right. That is Henry Ford. Because when you say I can't, it's a brother that I'm not willing to. When you say you can, that's exactly what the Bible said. For with God, nothing shall be possible. God, your father, had no impossibility in his vocabulary. You need to change your vocabulary. The way you speak is part of the problem you have. You need to ask the right question. Don't say I cannot afford it, because you lock your mind for thinking. You don't give yourself opportunity, but just say how can I afford it? You are saying the sentence, but one is positive and keep the door open for your mind to think. The other one shut you down and your brain retire and you go on sleeping and feel comfortable. When I was 15 years, I worked for my uncle for 5 years. 5 years and 7 months, call it 6 years. In 1976, he counted 200 naira and gave me. So I earned 200 naira for 6 years hardship of working. Many of you think money is important. If I have time, I will tell you about 5 levels of money. Money is the least thing that is important for success in life. What you need, number one thing, is knowledge. When my uncle gave me 200 naira in 1976, by the grace of God, I met the Lord Jesus Christ at the tender age of my life. So when people look at me as a rich man who is a Christian, they are making a mistake. I am a Christian who God trusts with money. My first value is my Christian belief. I am a rich man who became a Christian. So they are not the same. Because rich men who became Christian, look at other people like sawdusts in their brain. They are the only people that are wise. They know everything and they are intelligent. That's why they are successful. So, by that 15 years, when my uncle gave me 200 naira, we were having 3 days fasting. At the age of 15, I've learned to stay without food for 3 days. At Central Christian Fellowship, my boss came and I have shut his shop on Monday. Fasting. He sent for me and I came from church. He said to come with my senior brother and counted 200 naira and gave me. My senior brother asked me to leave it, let us go. But I've been taught some principle from the word of God, which is a foundation of success. Do not neglect the beginning of a small thing. So I asked my uncle that I worked for him, I never stole from him. When I teach young people, I tell them live clean so you don't have a tragic memory. Because if you don't have confidence in what you're doing, it's not going to work. I had enough confidence to look him straight into the eyes and said, I worked for you for 5 years plus. Why do you give me 200 naira? He said, but you locked the shop and you went to... I said, I was praying for the business to succeed. He said, go and pray, let your own succeed. I said, they settled me properly. He said, that is all he can do. I said, Uncle, listen. My mother, junior brother. I said, 5 years from today, 5. If you had who I am, your head will be spinning. When I said that, he received in his seat. Because there are things you don't expect 50 years boy to say. He said, I know you will be successful. I jumped up and said, thank you very much. Because I needed that blessing from him. And I left and teamed up with my senior brother to form a company called Maduka Brothers. Part of the thing I want to teach you today, you may not have all the capital to start from day one. Learn to leverage on partnership. But find somebody you have chemistry that you can work together. Because Bible still says that 2 is better than 1. So, even Coscharis today was a partnership between me and my wife. Because I own nothing when that lady gave me house in marriage. So, she just saw who I'm going to be. She could see future. So, Coscharis is a combination of Cosmas and charity. That's why we don't call it Coscharis, we call it Coscharis. But before Coscharis, I have run 4 partnerships that broke up before the partnership of myself, my wife, and I. The first was with my senior brother. Under 6 months, we differed in ideology. But I wrote a vision where I wanted to go. You need to put things down. I wrote in a paper that I want to live in 3 bedrooms apartment by the age of 18 of my own. And I want to get married at 20 years. I want to have a son at 21. And I want to buy my first car at 23. And I want to be a millionaire at 25. I didn't have it in my head. Habakkuk 2:20 said, if you have a vision, write it down. Many of you tell me you have a vision. I tell you, is it in paper? You said, yes, I believe God will. No, that's not a vision. You need to be constant, put it in paper. It's like when we say write your vision down, it's like write your budget or your business plan. Put it down, because you need to come back and see and put dates on them. All of them may not happen exactly the way you did, but that's what I did. And true to the fact, by 18 years, I was living in a 3 bedrooms apartment of my own. Saw a Passat car with 3,000 kilometer fast margin, and I went to negotiate it, and I closed the deal. And by 22, I own a car. I pursue other vision. One day, my mother was with me, and we are traveling, going to somewhere. When these things come upon me, I always speak my vision. I don't care whatever contradict, whatever, how it makes people feel uncomfortable. I said 2 more years, time is running on me. I will be a millionaire. My mother said, please, you want us to go the journey in peace. I should stop talking like that. I said, Mom, I just don't insult you. I told you what I'm going to do. You said you don't have 50,000. You are calling million. Each time you start calling this your million, my stomach turns. So when you drop me, you continue to talk your million. My mother was a very strong woman. So I stopped. I said, Mom, I just told you what I'm going to do. Because you are the only believer of your vision. I said, Mom, 2 more years. Give me 2 more years. I will hit my first $1 million. My mother said, if you say that again, I get out of the car. I said, Mama, I will be a millionaire in 2 years now. He said, open door. I opened door to get down. I banged the door. Start the car. My wife said, I go out of your mind. I said, if you like, I also drop. I drove away. I didn't go back to pick up. I met my first $2 million United States at the age of 24. Not 25. The rest is history. I built this house. This house, I'm still living in it. I built this house before I turned 25 at a new. It was a model, and people come to look at it. This is a Passat car. This is me, young man. If you see here, Jesus is coming soon. Here, Jesus is alive today. That is me at 90 years. This thing, I didn't shave. There's no goatee here. I'm not get goatee. So I'm not telling you intangible things. That's why I speak with some level of confidence that nothing you set your mind to do that cannot be done. So it's not a fairy tale story. It can be done. People are still creating things because God is creating still so many universe today that science is discovering. So there's nothing you plan to do that you cannot do. So I left my mother because when you have a vision, you are like a mad person. When you see mad people talking, making like this, they are hearing a voice that you are not hearing. And you tell them they are mad. In their mind, you are the person who is mad. Because you are not hearing what is hearing. A man or a woman with a vision is like a mad person. Really, because you are hearing a voice that no other person is hearing. When I was 14 years, I was going to buy goods with night bus called Awala at the Domo Park. I used to sleep at the bus stop in Ebutemeta. This is AG11. I passed this building. I pointed at this building. I said, one day I'm going to make a building like this. The man by the cocked my head. Because he couldn't see me at 14 years already dreaming about this building. But when I tell you that the vision is appointed to speak, to go in a time, the first house I ever made in Lagos is this building. Compare it with that AG11 building. This, when I had this in Adiolo Deku, there's Maduka building is not there. There's no building that is like this in Adiolo Deku in Victoria Island. That's the power of vision. That you set your mind on anything you want to accomplish, you have possibility to do them with God's support. If you don't hear anything from me, leave here to say that Cosmas said, hope is not a strategy. You can tweet it to anybody. Hope is very good, but hope is number one enemy of faith. Keep on procrastinating. Yes, God said I will be rich. God said I will succeed. God said I will do this. But faith is now. So hope is not a strategy. You need to have plan, and then have strategy, then have hope. But if you think hope is more important and you focus on hope, there are many things that you could do that you have left undone, keeping it for future. Start your distraction and feed your focus. From the age of 22, I stopped watching television. It's not a church doctrine. I came home, I told my wife, we will leave this house without television. My wife told me, what shall we watch? I said, you are the television, I watch you and you watch me. When I come back in the evening, I look at your beauty. And then we have conversation. And I live with her for 43 years. I never get angry. I'm pointing at her mouth. Because a woman number one need is affection, not money. You can give woman all the money in the world. If she doesn't get your attention, she's looking for a man that will give her attention. If she's talking nonsense, you look at her straight into her eyes and say, yes, honey, go ahead, I'm listening. Not when she's talking, you are placing television, you are placing phone. Or they're saying, yeah, of course, go. So I told her, I don't want distraction. I go to office, I come back late, I give you attention. So we have time for fellowship. So, value and integrity. This is the center of my teaching. Many churches don't teach it. Especially, they teach you how to succeed, but never taught you how to fail effectively. I learned from Japanese what they call integrity to another level. The Japanese made a promise to you and he cannot keep it. No excuse is good enough but to take his life. A man that has gone to dinner with me, his name is Mr. Machishita. He did business in Nigeria, he couldn't pay. He wrote the letter to his suppliers and said, I'm so sorry I disappointed you. And put in what they call harakati. Cut himself into two. Before the fundamentalists start committing suicide, Japanese have been killing themselves for failing to keep their promise. But Nigerian first language is I can't kill myself. I can't kill myself. I introduced a Nigerian to a Japanese and he was going in. The man said, please pay me. He said, hey, Nigerian government tested me. I can't kill myself. The man said, please kill yourself. He thought he was talking to another Japanese. He said, please kill yourself because you promised. Of course, the latter is the last thing Nigeria will do to kill himself. Don't overpromise, but rather over-deliver. This is the background. This is the core value that makes Kosharis what it is. That you get to learn to know. Maybe I can take this 5 levels of money. You must have seen it elsewhere. But when I talk about integrity, today we borrow on a negative pledge. All the banks in Nigeria, mention them. The first bank that started lending me money without collateral is Guaranteed Trust. When you go there and they tell you bring your grandson, bring your grandfather, bring the baby in your home. I am collateral, I don't collateralize anything. Senate lend me money on negative pledge, clean. Access Bank on clean, Fidelity on clean, First Bank on clean. You know, any of the bank is lend me money without collateral. If you get me angry, I write you one check that day and I will not do business again with you. The 5 level of money, number 1 level of money is what we call credibility. If you are not credible, you are bankrupt. I just want to say many of us don't know. If you ask a young man what is money, we tell you cash. Cash is the least level of money. The first level of money is credibility. The second level of money is credible relationship. You don't have money, but you have relationship with somebody who have money, who can veil his credibility to you. I have veiled my credibility to a kid brother of mine for over $220 million at one time. Many of you here, you may be wealthy, but if you come to our shop to buy a Chinese car that is 32 million, I will not give it to you because I don't know you. But let Sister Florence Alakija pick up the phone and ask me to release a Range Rover of 450 million naira to you. I'll let you go. Because I know she's credible. If you don't pay, she will pay. If I need to call me now, you want a Rolls Royce, 1.4 billion, I will ask you to go with the car. I won't ask him. If I 7 Series amount, 1.2 billion, I will let you drive the car away. Because I know I won't chase our people to get the money. He will pay. The week he say he will pay. So, if you have a relationship, if somebody gives you access, please don't abuse it. That's what I teach young people. Don't. If a rich man gives you money, a wealthy person gives you cash, he has cheated you. What you need is his access. The door is open. If you call the phone, if you can pick your call, you are in a society of being a wealthy person. So, credibility and credible relationship. The third level of money is what I call integrity. Integrity is not what you do when all of us are here, where Kamala is looking at you. Integrity is what you do when you close door and nobody else will know. Where no camera sees you. If you're a man of value and principle and you hold to your principle, then we know you have integrity. Actually, don't ever think you have integrity until you have a test of integrity, where you are given opportunity to do something contrary and you stand by your principle. Number 4 is character. Character is the foundation of leadership. Character, it should be the foundation of your life. The problem we have in this country is the deficit of character. If we have credible people that have character in this country should be one of the number 1 economy that will be growing in the world based on our human and natural resources. You have the first 2 speakers of the yes in the morning. Show me the foundation of this building, you will not see it. The wall have problem, we will break it and repair it. The roof have problem, we will break it down. If the foundation have problem, we need to bring this whole building down. That's why character is important. Character is alphabet. A is A. It doesn't become B in Nigeria or C in Saudi Arabia and then D in Canada. It's A anywhere in the world. Character is that 1 is 1, 2 is 2, 3 is 3. By 2 a.m. in the morning, by 4 a.m. it doesn't change by that time. Any man who does not have it is building on a wrong foundation. And that building will not stand. And every one of us will go through a test of integrity and character while we are in business. And if you don't pass, you will continue to stay where you are. After that, you need competence. That is number 5. You need to be knowledgeable. You have me say at the beginning of my speech that ignorance is not a demon. If you have phone, you didn't need the manual to know how to use that phone, and you are praying that that phone will give you result. We can cast it out. You need knowledge. You need to be tutored. That's why you need mentor. You need somebody to school you, to teach you what to do, so that you can be an authority in your industry. That's one of the things Peace has been trying to explain to you here. Don't jump into things you do not know. In business terminology, you will lose your capital and will say you learn in a hard way, which means your school fees is very expensive. The knowledge you have in the industry you are going to is more important than the capital you have to go into it. So, you need to be competent, because if I keep $1 million on top of this table now and keep a banana and bring a monkey, what will it take? You take banana. But the monkey did not know with $1 million he will have banana plantation. That is ignorance. So if you have knowledge, you'll be able to think and choose what is right for you. But without it, you continue to make mistakes. You can tweet it to anybody, to somebody now, that I said, if you don't have these 5 things and you have money, you're a thief. You have stolen the money. That's why I have no regard for a lot of people with their wealth. Because if money is an exchange of value, I want to see the value you created for people before you have money. I was in my house at Nigerian. My managing director called me by 9 o'clock. I said, I want to know, who are you? I said, you want me to draw the, what do you mean you want to know who I am? I said, I want to know who are you? I said, I'm Cosmas and Maduka. He said, I begin to respect you from today. He said, I collected cash, 14 billion naira. They bet that day, in one day, this is share I have offered to somebody to buy for 2 billion.
I want to let you know that you don't have to grow alone. Before you leave this video, let me share something that I believe with all my heart may help you. Transformation rarely happens in isolation. Take note of that. Because every successful people you admire today was influenced by someone. Someone changed their thinking. Someone introduced them to a new book, corrected their belief. Someone believed in them before they believed in themselves. Growth has always been a community experience. That's why one of the greatest decisions you can make today is intentionally surround yourself with people who are moving in the same direction you want to go. Because whether you realize it or not, the people around you are shaping your future. If you are surrounded by people who only complain, eventually complaining begins to surround you normally. If you are surrounded by people who make excuses begin to feel reasonable. If you are surrounded by people who believe success is possible, you will slowly begin to lower your own expectation. But when you are people who are reading, building, learning, challenging each other, celebrating growth instead of gossip, something changes inside you. You begin to think differently and ask the better questions. You see opportunities where others see problems. That's the power of right environment. So one of the reasons this channel exists is because we believe learning should never stop after one video. Every message you watch should lead you to another lesson. Every lesson should inspire another action. Every action should move you closer to becoming the person God created you to be. That's why we built a community of people who are committed to growth. People from different countries, careers, background, but one thing in common. They have decided they don't want to live an average life. They are learning about what? Purpose, productivity, and leadership. If you have been watching this video for a while, don't just remain a viewer. Become part of the conversation.
share your ideas, ask questions, and encourage someone who was just beginning their journey. Sometimes one comment can completely change another person's life. You never know who is reading, you never know who is struggling, and you will never know who needs the encouragement you can provide. That's how communities grow. If you'd like to be part of our community, to join us on this journey, you'll find a link to our community in the description below. We'd genuinely love to have you there. It's a place where we'll continue these conversations beyond YouTube. We'll share ideas, we'll comment powerful books, discuss business, money, leadership, and personal development. We encourage you to apply what you are learning. So before you click away, don't let this be the last you watch today. There are more teachings on this channel that will help you. You can see on your screen right now. Click the next one and watch. And if today's message challenge you, I can confidently say the next one will also challenge you even more. So take a moment and choose another video from this channel. Keep feeding your mind with the right ideas, because every great future begins with a renewed mind. Thank you for spending this time with us. Thank you for choosing growth over comfort. I truly believe that if you remain teachable, consistent, and apply what you learn, the next few years of your life can completely differently change. Two people can sit in the same room, listening to the same messages, even take notes from the same speaker, hear the same wisdom. But yet, 5 years later, one person's life has completely changed, while the other is still complaining about the same problem that they both sat down to listen to. So what made the difference? It wasn't intelligence, it wasn't luck. You may say opportunity, but it wasn't opportunity. It was what happened after the teaching ended. Because information does not transform people. It is decisions that do. That's why every conference, books you read, sermon you listen to, every conversation leaves you standing at a crossroad. Are you going to the other side, or you are remaining with the same old habits? The other leads is not a complete without a decision. You know, most people, they love inspiration, they love comfort, but every new level demands that an old version of you must die. You cannot become financially disciplined while living with financial careless habits, spending everything you earn, trying to impress people who are not building anything. Growth is expensive. It's not because it always costs money. It costs comfort, it costs excuses, it costs old identities and habits. It costs relationship, but it even costs money. Cost money. One of the biggest lies people tell themselves is this: when things get better, I'll become disciplined. No. Discipline is what makes things better. People think confidence comes before action. But confidence usually comes after repeated action. Some may even think success creates discipline, but discipline creates success. Everything is just backward from what most people believe. That's why waiting to feel ready is one of the greatest traps in life. Nobody feels ready. Nobody feels ready. Entrepreneur does not. Investor does not. The greatest leader does not. It's one of the greatest traps, feeling ready to start. So another thing I've learned from this video is that your environment silently shapes your future. You may think you are making independent decisions, but look closely at the conversation around you. The people you admire, the videos you consume, the books you ignore, the friends you spend weekends with, they are all shaping your thinking little by little, day after day, until one day you wake up living a life that reflects your environment. That's why protecting your mind is not just a spiritual principle. It's a financial principle, a leadership principle, a life principle. Because every decision begins as a thought. They're influenced. So now ask yourself, who is influencing the way you think? Many people want different life without becoming a different person. They want different results with the same mindsets, different income with the same habits, different future, same priority. Life does not work that way. If nothing changes, nothing changes. Sometimes the greatest investment is not money. It's becoming someone capable of carrying a greater responsibility. Because opportunity does not stay where they are not managed well. So what is interesting is here's what is interesting. I want to challenge something that people never question. Being busy. Being busy all the time. Being busy does not always mean you are not making progress. Some people are exhausted because they think they are making progress. You can be busy making progress and you can still be busy not making progress. Just that you are being exhausted doing things that does not move your life forward. Activity is not productivity. Movement is not progress. Yeah, can listen to it again. So, what I want you to do now is to take a decision after watching this video. Choose one principle and live for it in the next 30 days. Not because someone told you, but because you are becoming the kind of person who takes responsibility for their future. That's where real transformation begins. One day at a time. And one day, what feels invisible today will become undeniable tomorrow. There's something I've noticed over the years, and I think it's one of the biggest reasons many people never experience real transformation. It's not because they don't have access to information. It's not because they haven't attended conferences. It's not because they haven't listened to great teachers. Yes, this is what I think. It's because information has become entertainment to us. Today we live in a generation where it's possible to spend 10 hours watching motivational videos and still make the exact same financial decision tomorrow morning. Yes. You can know every principle of wealth creation, quotes, books, lines by lines, explain investment, even teach it to your friends. But if our life doesn't reflect what we have learned, then the knowledge has not even become wisdom yet. Wisdom begins the moment knowledge changes your behavior. That's why every time you finish listening to a message like this, Don't rush to the next video, sit with it. Ask yourself a difficult question. What challenged me? What belief do I need to let go of? What habits must change beginning today? Because the goal of learning is never to collect information. The goal is for transformation. And also, one of the greatest mistakes people make is believing that one big decision changes a life. Most lives does not change because of one dramatic moment. They change because of small decision repeated consistently. Someone decides to save before spending. Another person decides to read for 30 minutes every day. And another one decides to stop buying things they don't need. And another person decides to learn a skill every year. Those decisions don't look exciting in the beginning. Nobody celebrates them. Nobody posts about them. But 5 years later, something drastically changed. Everyone wonders why their lives are completely different. Success usually looks boring at the beginning. Failure also looks comfortable while it's happening. That's why discipline feels expensive today, but regret costs far more tomorrow. So I also want to challenge something many people believe. They often pray for opportunities while ignoring preparation. Opportunity does not reward riches. Opportunity rewards readiness. Imagine praying for a business worth millions of dollars. Then ask yourself, could I manage it if it arrived tomorrow morning? Do I have a system, the character, the discipline, and how to lead people? Could I solve the problem that come with the level of responsibilities? Sometimes God is not delaying the blessing, just we ourselves. We have not developed the person in ourselves to carry it. Because a blessing without capacity is so much burden. It happened to Peter in the Bible. The truth is, your future is not created by what you admire. It's created by the repeated practice. You may admire so many successful entrepreneurs. You may admire all the investors, the wealthy families, but admiration does not change anything in the bank accounts. What changes is imitation, creating momentum and applying consistency that creates results, creates mastery. So the progress of this message is that choose one thing from every lesson and practice it. Take action, just one action, not 10. Because one applied principle is worth more than 100 forgotten ideas. Principle, a daily routine. So, I want you to always remember this. The future is not determined by the video you watch today. It's determined by what you do after watching this video. That is where the real change begins.